Welcome to another episode of Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks, the podcast where we use our bodies as weapons and our minds as blunt force objects.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Huh. I thought you were going to be like, mine's as bullets.
And our bodies as guns?
I don't know.
I'm your host, Matt, and with me as always is your co-host, Garrett.
Hello, I'm Garrett.
He is Garrett. Garrett, what are we watching this week?
This week we're going to watch Legally Blonde because I won the bet last week.
Where they use their minds as weapons, right? Because
in a court of law.
In a court of law?
In a court of law.
Right.
I don't know. I've seen this movie a couple times. I haven't seen it in quite a bit.
A couple of times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is again like one of those movies that like in my house. Like, it was just on in the background all the time.
Right. It's kind of one of those movies that's always on TV too. Like you can go to TBS and it's probably playing.
Yeah, but I mean, so with While You Were Sleeping, I was like, oh, my mom just like kind of had this movie on all the time. It was like her, her Spice World for you.
Right. No, I know.
This was actually more like my mom kind of had this movie playing a lot, but my sister had this movie playing a shitload, like very often. Like if you like walked past her room, like you would hear dialogue from the movie. It's actually perfect day, nothing standing in my way.
I feel like we're singing the same song.
So I've seen this movie a bunch. It's fucking good. It's a good one. I'm actually excited to watch it. I haven't seen it in easily, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. I haven't seen it in a long time. So
well, it came out in 2001.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that it seems like I wouldn't have expected it to be that old. It feels like it's much more recent, like in my life. But I guess 17 years ago is recent.
You know when the dog died? 2 years ago.
The dog from this movie?
Survived until 2016.
Was that in the trivia?
It was.
That's the saddest trivia we've had
I mean, it's pretty impressive. A tiny little Chihuahua dog living 18 years.
His name is Bruiser, Matt.
Bruiser lived 18 years.
His name is Bruiser.
Okay. His name is Bruiser.
Well,
we shall remember him as Bruiser.
Are you assuming that he was 1 at the time of this film?
You know, that's right. I have no idea. Well, I'm not.
He could have been born in like 1996 and then died at the ripe old age of 73. I don't know math, but
what? That math is far from accurate.
27. What was it?
No. 2001, directed by Robert Luketic.
Sure.
Luke plus TIC.
Sure.
He also directed When a Date with Tad Hamilton, Monster-in-Law, that the weird fucking card counting movie 21 with like the guy from.
That's actually like I like that movie.
I wanted to like that
Jim
movie.
Sturgis, the guy from Across the Universe.
That's what I was gonna say. That movie came off right after Across the Universe, and like I wanted to like him because I really liked Across the Universe.
And then he wasn't really in anything else.
Yeah, because he wasn't really good in anything else.
Yeah.
He also directed The Ugly Truth, Killers. The Ugly Truth and Killers, which is back to back Katherine Heigl.
So he's like right in the pocket for this genre for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Monster-in-Law. What was the first one?
When a Date with Tad Hamilton.
Interesting. I actually never saw it. Is that Kate Bosworth? I think that's Kate Bosworth.
I don't even know who Kate Bosworth is.
She was Lois Lane in Superman Returns.
Yeah, still not ringing any bells.
Blue Crush?
Why? What the fuck is Blue Crush?
Wow.
Is that the surfing movie?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen that.
Michelle Rodriguez and some third person.
Some third entity that no one knows?
Well, it's like three girls that are best friends.
Like a three thing.
That,
it's like everything comes in threes.
Yeah, but those are the only two reputable ones that I recall offhand. I don't know.
Anyway. Written by Amanda Brown, who wrote like the novel, which I had no idea this movie was based off of a novel. Did you know? No, blown away. Yeah. And the screenplay was written by Karen McCullough and Kristen Smith, who have written such movies as 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
amazing.
Yeah, that's on the list. That's coming up.
But after this movie, it kind of takes like a sharp decline.
Like a dump.
She's the Man. They wrote She's the Man.
Oh.
Yeah, last week.
An alumnus.
A very recent alumnus.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
The House Bunny and The Ugly Truth, again, with the same director of this movie.
So of the list that I have of potential movies, The House Bunny is on that shit, for sure.
Okay.
That's like actually pretty high on my list, so. Hey, here we go.
Watched your eyes widen when you said high on the list.
Oh, Xana Faris. She's funny.
She
is
like, pretty funny. Movie stars Reese Witherspoon, Luke Wilson, Selma Blair, Matthew Davis, who I don't know, Victor Garber, Jennifer Coolidge, and Allie Larder.
Oh, Allie Larder. Yeah. Yeah, Allie Larder from She's from like the Resident Evil movies, and I don't know.
Do you think Ali Larter is Mila Jovovich?
No, Ali Larter is also in all of it. No, they are different.
They're different entities.
Yeah.
So do we have like a bet for this one?
Yeah, I don't have. Okay, so
you've seen this a bunch.
I have seen this, so I'm kind of biased with this. So what I'm gonna say is
biased or prepared, both things.
Yeah, but kind of both. Column A, column B. What I would say was we do an age bet, but in this instance, because I feel like we watch a lot of these movies where there's a drastic age gap between like the romantic counterparts, right?
Sure.
Like Pretty Woman, again, episode number 1, most glaring, right? It was like, wasn't it like...
Go back and listen.
It was like 18 years,
yeah,
right? Between them or something. That's insane. So, I want to bet over, what the age difference is between Reese Witherspoon's character, Elle. Or no, Reese Witherspoon. No, so yeah, I'm sorry, just the actors.
Yeah, here. Not the characters.
So the age difference between Reese Witherspoon and Luke Wilson, who is her love interest in this movie.
Is he the love interest?
Yeah.
We're gonna assume that he's the
no, like I know that he is.
Oh, right.
I've seen this movie a whole bunch.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I won. I lost the bet, so I guess first. Uh-huh. I will say.
What she's the fuck was that sound?
Fuck you. She's just going into law school, right?
Right. She is just starting law school, fresh from college. I will give you that much. But like that's the character. It's
no. I know. I'm. Oh, right. We're talking about the actors. Mm-hmm. 5 years.
Okay.
Why?
Because I'm going to say 6. I don't know.
Oh, so you're going to be the guy who goes 1 above me just to kind of edge me out?
Well, like I mean, Price is Right rules though. Like technically, the guy who goes 1 under is the dick. So who's really the monster here, Matt?
Society. Society is the monster.
Just leave that where it is. I love Jennifer Coolidge in this movie.
She's Stifler's mom, right?
She is Stifler's mom from American Pie movie.
This is prime time for her.
She's on that show. I don't know if it's still on.
Two Broke Girls.
Yeah,
I think it's canceled.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, thankfully, right?
she plays like I think they're like their landlady or something on that. She's just like very, very funny. Like she's just like
she's very over the top and always plays like a character, like a caricature.
I love that though.
Sure.
Like she and she commits, and it's like I think that's why it's so funny.
This is like
she just like makes these choices and like goes with them.
So American Pie, which was like kind of her first foray, not like first, but like her big. Like stepping out into like the movies or whatever.
Right. I mean, we're looking at her. She's also in Best in Show.
Right. But that's all after that. What I'm saying is like
Best in Show was after American Pie.
Yes.
Wow.
But American Pie was 1999, and then this was 2001, and then after this movie, you just see like a really steep incline of like her showing up in movies as like these big character people, like I don't know,
for like a couple of minutes.
Right. As like the funny friend who shows up.
Right. She kind of steals the show from what I remember in this movie. Yeah.
What about in Red, White, and Blue, the sequel? What is it?
I don't know if I've ever seen the whole sequel.
Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and...
I think it's Red, White, and Blonde.
That's what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Blonde,
White, and Blue.
I think I've seen part of it. I don't know.
It's not like directed or written by the same people, so...
Reese Witherspoon's still in it, though, so that's the thing. I mean,
good for her. I feel like she was probably contractually obligated to.
Maybe. I don't remember it being good, but this movie is very good.
Would it be as good as if it starred any of these other people?
Oh, you got something.
I've got a bunch.
Ooh.
All at one point considered for the role of Elle were Charlize Theron.
No.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Still no.
Alicia Silverstone, which I feel like her and Reese Witherspoon are like really thought of for similar roles a lot.
I actually like the idea of Alicia Silverstone in this role.
It's kind of going back to Clueless, though.
But they're really similar characters.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
At least, I mean, in Clueless she's in high school and this she's applying to law school. But like, it's I don't know, it's the same type of like really confident, like funny, like seems out of touch, but actually like is great. Like that actually might have been really cool. That might have been all right. Who else?
Well, so here's the last two that like kind of like made a little sense to me. So Christina Applegate and Jennifer Love Hewitt, both like to me kind of fit the role. And then I've got a couple names here that I'm just blown away that they were considered.
So wait, I don't buy either of those, to be honest with you.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
No, not for this movie.
Really?
I'd like to ask you.
I mean, she couldn't be. I mean, I guess she could dye her hair to be blonde, but
I'd like to ask you once we're done watching it if you could see Jennifer Love Hewitt in this role. Just saying. All right. Okay. So who are the ones that you were blown away by?
Mila Jovovich.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I cannot imagine this movie.
No, that's a no. That couldn't have been.
Katherine Heigl.
Also no.
Super no.
Too tall for the role.
Yeah, that's what it is. Not the asshole face that she also has.
But it's also like, I think part of, like, you'll see as we watch the movie, like, part of it is that, like, Reese Witherspoon is this kind of, like, petite, like, blonde girl in this movie who is, like, a powerhouse. Like, she's just, like, really, like, very smart and confident and, like...
I also think that you're supposed to be endeared toward this character, and I don't
Katherine
think...
Heigl.
Yeah.
You don't think you can get behind...
No.
I also think that, but I also think part of why it's, like, so good is because it's, like, she's just this petite person who, like, comes in and, like, fucking runs the show. That's, like, how I kind of remember it.
And that's just the story of your life.
Yeah. I mean, like, I relate to this movie most specifically in this way.
Because you're a petite person who just runs the world. Who runs the world? No. Garrett.
Oh, I thought we were going to actually sing the song.
I don't know the song. I really just... Okay. And lastly, Tori Spelling.
Wow.
What? This was way past Tori Spelling's prime.
Well, 2001. No. When did, like, maybe...
90210?
Yeah, when did 90210 go off?
I have no idea.
It was 90s. This is like, this could have been like, she I don't know. I think this movie, it would have been a fucking way different movie if not Reese Witherspoon, and probably way less endearing if it was 80% of that list that you just listed.
Agreed.
You got any cool trivia? Any additional cool trivia?
Not cool, but the only other things that were worth noting, I guess, was that, I said the dog thing earlier. Reese Witherspoon worked into her contract that at the end of shooting, she got to keep every outfit that Elle wears. Is it Elle?
Mm-hmm.
Elle wears.
Lucky.
Wow. And throughout the movie, she wears 40 different hairstyles. Which, I mean, good for that, like, I guess, like,
I'm going to count.
The hair and makeup artist.
I'm going to count.
You're going to count? She probably made a lot of money, the hair and makeup artist, on this one, you know? Because of all the extra work she had, you would imagine.
Why are you sweating? Why are you visibly sweating?
I'm always sweating. So what are we drinking, Garrett?
Well, I was gonna say, just one time, I want your trivia to be the most mundane bullshit ever.
This was filmed.
They used halogen lamps to light the set in the bathroom fight,
and just ignore all actual trivia, or just have no actual trivia.
No, like I want specifically
bad trivia,
like lighting and stage cue trivia.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah.
If you look at minute 27, you can see a boom mic come down from the top left frame.
Like I want you to find the name of the boom mic operator. Like I want shit like that instead of like the director and the writer. And held the mic in such films as
Mike Smith, boom operator, was fired that day.
The beer, we didn't get super creative this time. So we're drinking.
You know what? I think it's great.
I think it's good, but we've already kind of done this. So if you will recall, for the movie The Other Woman, which is about 3 blonde women being cheated on, we drank Good Natured Blonde.
Well, because they were good-natured blonde
Good-natured
women.
Brewery, right?
Right.
So here we have Great South Bay
Blonde Ambition.
Yeah.
She's an ambitious blonde, and the movie title is Legally Blonde. This fits way more than The Other Women.
Right. This for me is more of a summer beer, and we're getting into October almost.
Hey, it's the tail end of summer. We're having a little bit of it's just an elongated summer.
Why are you sweating again? Why are you visibly sweating?
I never know.
All right. So Blonde Ambition. I mean, we both had this beer before. I haven't had it. I
actually haven't.
Though. You've never had Blonde Ambition?
No, I've heard about it a million times.
No, it's good beer.
Yeah,
it's good beer. Yeah, I think you'll try it. So we're gonna drink that. We're gonna drink Blonde Ambition. We're gonna watch Legally Blonde because blonde and blonde.
Legally Blonde Ambition.
You see.
Okay.
That's it for trivia, right?
Yeah, that's it. We're good.
Okay, so if you're going to watch Legally Blonde before you listen to us,
don't. No, I mean, go ahead. Do it.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
I was on a roll, and then I had to stop.
I was trying to be.
Okay. If you're going to watch Legally Blonde and you haven't seen it already, pause us here. If not, we're going to go watch Legally Blonde and drink some blondes.
Without you.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, we're always without them, but like not in our hearts. They're always with us in our hearts.
But like we think about them even though we're not together.
All the time. Like when I close my eyes, I see them.
I fucking hate you. Anyway, We're going to watch it. As always, we're sorry for whatever happens next.
And we will see you on the other side. And we're back.
And we're back. All right, we just watched Legally Blonde. Broad strokes, first impression. I've seen this movie before and I knew I liked it, but I haven't watched it in a while. I really like this movie a lot. It's really good. I really dug it. Did you enjoy it?
I'll tell you right now. When I talk to a lot of people about what we read about, not a lot of people. When I talk to people about what movie we're doing,
2
to 3 people about the movie we were doing.
Sure.
People are like, "Oh my god, I love that movie." I thought this was real regular, like just real middle of the road.
But you didn't think it was bad.
No, it was definitely better than a lot that we've seen, but it was I wasn't blown away by this.
It's not top of my list, but I really like this movie. But we'll do our ranking.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll get to the ranking because I think you may be surprised as to where this falls for me.
Let's hit the beer real quick. So
You
had never had this beer before.
No, I think it again, it's Blonde Ambition by Great South Bay. I thought it was a really, really great tasting beer. I think it's got a little bit of a weird, funky smell coming off of it, but for the most part, it was crisp and like light. You were right. It's a very summery beer.
It is more of a summery beer.
Yeah.
It is wildly drinkable though.
Oh, for sure. I listen. I went through them pretty quick.
It's like a really good beach beer. Like if you're like I could drink 12 of them out of a cooler.
Hanging out in the backyard playing some bags. Who knows?
Like a little bit of a. I agree. The smell is kind of.
It's off-putting, but once you
get
past it,
it doesn't taste like what it
doesn't
smells
exactly.
Like, but it's a spectacular beer. Really like that beer.
I really like it.
So the blonde and the blonde and blonde and blonde
she's legally blonde,
and it also is blonde because there's blonde and also blonde. So
say blonde again. Say blonde again.
I won't. So, what am I gonna hit? Soundtrack, right?
Not much to say about it.
Literally, Hoku Perfect Day is the soundtrack.
Hoku?
Yeah, Hoku performing Perfect Day. It's basically the soundtrack to the entire movie because it's the opening song.
I think it's at least 3 to 4 times.
It's also the closing song.
Yes,
I think it's at least one time in the middle. So I'm gonna say it like I'm gonna agree at least 3 times in the movie. There are really no other reputable. There was
one other song. I remember you Shazamming it when we were doing it.
And I remember thinking it was Britney Spears, but it super wasn't. Let's see. It was Watch Me Shine by Joanna Pasidi.
Is the P silent? Is it just seedy?
No.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But,
no way to tell. Clearly no way to tell.
But yeah, I mean, that was like really like...
That was about it.
Yeah, it didn't knock
They
my
did the
socks
thing.
off.
They did the thing where like every time they cut to Harvard in the beginning of the movie, it was like... They like gave like real like...
right, that like real regal, stupid, like pompy, circumstancy music.
Right.
Yeah, that is very funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Wait.
Go ahead.
Were you going to talk about like your opinion of the movie generally a little bit more?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to do.
Well,
do you want to do the 3 sentences?
3 sentences.
Okay.
3 sentences or less. Matt?
How
did this movie go? What was the plot of this movie in 3 sentences or less?
Okay. Valley Girl tries to impress her... She's such a fucking asshole. Valley Girl tries to impress her boyfriend Valley Girl tries to impress her ex-boyfriend by getting into law school because he doesn't think she's serious enough for him to marry. Period. 1 sentence. Gets into law school by doing the work on her. She gets into law school by her own merit, and hilarity ensues. Period.
All right, too. All right,
quote unquote hilarity ensues. And third sentence is when realizing that law school is harder or different than she thought it would be, really rises to the challenge to become a fantastic lawyer and follows her gut and period.
Okay. Listen.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say it more succinctly for us, Garrett.
Okay. Young woman who is portrayed as shallow but clearly intelligent, not proposed to by a guy she thinks is going to propose to her.
Period.
One. Goes to Harvard, gets into Harvard Law School and goes to Harvard Law School because he is there to win him back, too. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Once there, realizes that this is about her and not him, and ultimately finds success, like, for herself, not for trying to get this guy.
Period.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the real shift. I think that's the real shift in the movie. Like,
when she says to him, I'm never going to be enough for you, am I? Or I'm never going to be good enough for you, am I?
Yeah. So we could break this down a little bit, I guess. So she portrayed as this, like, movie opens and it's just blonde hair being brushed, which trivia is not her.
It's not her. Sorry, that's
it's just blonde hair. It doesn't show her face.
Apparently, she was busy filming another movie, and they were like, "Well, we need a shot of someone combing her hair."
Well, we need some hair.
Can I say this movie is totally believable to be a sequel to Clueless for me? Like, it might as well just be Cher as the character.
Do you think Cher goes to college?
Yeah.
Like, Cher goes to college and then law school.
Her daddy's a her daddy's a lawyer. Like, she wants to follow in his footsteps. Except the only unbelievable part is that Warner is no...
he's no Paul Rudd.
He's no Paul Rudd.
How dare you?
Well, listen.
Fucking...
You know what was weird is I was almost about to call him Ben Affleck.
Podcast over. Oh, really?
Warner is no Ben Affleck.
He's definitely no Ben Affleck. He's definitely no Paul Rudd.
Right.
But I'm kind of with you on that. Although, I think Cher kind of finds herself at the end of Clueless, which, like, hey, she's lucky enough to kind of find herself in the last year of high school. You know, it's like incredible.
Must be nice to find oneself ever, I guess.
Right.
I wouldn't know.
But this movie, like, I disagree in that in this, it seems like, I mean, like, Reese Witherspoon, like, Elle, like, knows who she is, but it's also, it's like, she doesn't, like, fully believe, as confident and shit as she is from the very beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't fully believe in herself, I think, until, like, towards the end of this movie.
Okay.
And I think for that reason, I do disagree that this is, like, you know, kind of like a, like, sequel-y.
Okay, but the only thing I disagree with you on is, like, as much as movies, you know, distort reality or whatever, is that, you know, Cher found herself, quote unquote, at the end of, like, high school. How much does anyone ever actually find themselves at the end of high school?
Yeah. But she also, like, totally married Paul Rudd, and I like to imagine that they're living happily.
She totally married her half-brother. Or not half-brother, her stepbrother. It's stepbrother.
Stepbrother, yeah.
That's fine.
I feel like we dove into that enough last time.
So
it's not weird. It's weird. It's not weird. It's totally weird.
It's weird. It's
a little bit weird. It's not weird. It's super weird. It's kind of weird. No, but so she, you know, she starts as, like, this kind of, like, she's a sorority girl. She's, like, the president of the sorority. She's super popular, super well liked. She's a pretty girl. Like, she's, like,
affluent. She's
from a wealthy family. Like, it, like, props her up in this way, and she's, like, her life is perfect as far as she knows and as far as she, like, wants her life to be. She's gonna go to dinner with her, like, long-term boyfriend,
which I have a problem with to begin with, but finish what you're gonna say.
Who is Warner, who I also think looks like Dane Cook, who I also think looks like Tom Brady.
He's a mishmash of
I'm gonna call him Tom Brady, dude.
Dane Brady.
Dane Brady. That was a high five.
Slow clap.
So she's in love with Dane Brady. She thinks he's gonna propose to her at dinner, and then he basically says
he inevitably breaks up with her.
He breaks up with her and says, I need a girl more serious than you. My older brother just got engaged to a Vanderbilt. I'm expected to marry, like, a Kennedy or some shit.
So
my
here's
family
my problem
is
with
senators, whatever. Some stupid fucking thing.
My whole problem with this is that he, like, builds it up. He, like, goes into the sorority house and, like, says hi to all the girls and all this stuff. And no one puts this much effort and, like sets up a nice enough dinner just to take this girl out to be like, we're fucking done
to a
here.
breakup.
Yeah, we're done here.
Hey, let me spend a lot of time and energy on this breakup.
Exactly.
And dollars.
Pooh Bear. That really rubbed me the wrong way.
He kept calling her Pooh Bear as he was breaking up with her, which seemed like the worst.
Yeah,
like
I hated it.
That's fucking.
It was really condescending.
That's like maniacal. That's like fucking. That's fucking like, hey.
It's maniacal.
But I love you. But we're done. But I love you, Pooh Bear. But I love you. But remember that pet name?
Let me just keep you on the hook.
But also we're through.
So they break up, and he says it's because she's not serious enough. And then to prove to him that she's serious enough, she decides that she's going to go to Harvard Law. And I thought it was ridiculous at first. And then they when they receive her application.
It's great.
It actually makes a whole lot of sense to me.
I wrote that down. I was like, she gets into Harvard Law, but
on her own merits.
But of course she gets into Harvard
She
Law.
was a 4.0 student.
Right.
She got an amazing... She was in the top 1 percentile of the LSATs that she had to take.
Right.
And she did a crap load of fucking extracurriculars.
Philanthropic acts and such.
Sure.
She organized charity events, and she was
they may have been ridiculous sounding, but she did them.
No, and I think ultimately it was there, and they don't give a shit what your fucking grades were in.
No, that's what I'm saying is that I was kind of blown away by they were just like one guy was like, yeah, but it was in fashion management. Everyone's just like, shut up. She's in.
It is funny when it cuts to the Harvard review board, the boardroom, watching her video where she's just in a bikini,
laying in the pool, and everyone's slack-jawed staring at her.
Yeah, and you get this idea that they're all like, but she's a pretty girl, and they're all trying to come up with reasons because they want this woman.
But all
around.
the reasons have
It's
basis.
Funny. No, but exactly.
No, I know that it's meant to be played for a joke, but I'm saying it all totally makes sense.
Yeah, it was. I thought that scene was especially funny because they're all making valid points, but at the same time, it's kind of unsaid that they're but pretty girl though. We can get pretty girl here though, but pretty girl, but they're pretty girl though. So she gets in and she gets there. So I wrote down for at least the first bit of this, right? When she gets into Harvard. And she goes to Harvard, just the concept of her going to Harvard because he's going to Harvard Law.
Yeah.
Is she a crazy ex-girlfriend in the beginning of this movie?
Oh, for sure.
She really is, right?
It's very stalkery.
You did all of this intensive work to follow me here?
And then she when she gets to Harvard, she's like, "Oh, did he check in yet?"
Right.
I was like, "Oh no, please stop."
The movie does a really good job though of being it's cute and funny.
Right. Because
you're never weirded out by it, and you never think she's being crazy, really.
Well,
but you have to take a step back and
they totally could have played
followed him there.
They totally could have played it for I'm gonna prove him wrong. I'm gonna make him see.
That's what it becomes.
I know that's what it becomes, but they could have played that. I feel like they could have played it that way in the beginning.
And I would argue that it's a little bit of that in the beginning. But also, she could have gone to any other law school and been very successful anywhere else. But she, followed him to this place.
Yeah. In her convertible with her tiny little dog.
So that's another thing. She drove from L.A. She starts at college in L.A. She drove from L.A. To Boston.
Harvard.
In her Porsche. Being trailed by a moving truck, a giant moving truck for a dorm room.
With 8 guys in it.
So good. I thought that was very funny. She pulled up to Harvard and some
this ain't LA.
Some bullshit ADR of some guy in the crowd goes, "This ain't LA." It's what is that?
Why? This isn't even New York.
You're really drawing lines. Have we learned nothing from Biggie and Tupac? East Coast, West Coast. It's all the same, man.
Who and who?
I hate you so much.
Yeah, me too.
Something I want to talk about is this will cut ahead a little bit, but time frame in this movie was banana balls.
I actually didn't understand the time frame in this movie.
So let's lay this out. She's still a senior in college when
we meet her.
When we meet her and he's breaking up with her.
Right.
Okay. She takes the LSAT and she gets a 179 out of 180 possible points on the LSAT, which is nutty, but insane. Fucking cool. Great. Whatever.
Good for her. She deserved it.
So, but she works really hard and she takes the LSAT, presumably again in her senior year of law school.
Right.
And then she is at Harvard Law the following fall, right?
Which we don't see the summer in between or
we don't
anything.
see her graduate from college or anything. It's just
it's just all of a sudden she's at Harvard
Law.
It's
a foregone conclusion that she's going to graduate from college, and she does.
Which I'll even accept that because it's
I
just
will too, because I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
That's not what the movie's about. The movie's about
law school.
A blonde sorority girl at Harvard Law? Right. Well, I'd never. That's the fucking...
Well, hot damn.
Yeah. Like, that's like the stupid premise. That's like the real stupid baseline premise.
It's a real elevator pitch, if you will.
Yeah. Right. Like, wait, hear me out. So, but that's like maybe a couple months. Like, she maybe just like, I'm thinking she took the LSAT in the spring and she starts in September,
sure.
right?
Well, I mean, that's presumably.
Let's say that's for 4 or 5.
That's a standard.
Let's say that's 4 or 5 months in between, like when they break up and when she goes to Harvard Law, right?
I think what you're getting at here is at the very end of the movie.
No, not even that.
Oh,
not yet.
Even that?
The first thing is she gets to Harvard Law, again, presumably about 4 or 5 months after he's broken up with her. Okay. Right. He's already engaged to Selma Blair when she gets with the first day of law school. When he gets there, he's already engaged to Selma Blair.
They kind of explained it a little bit, and I don't know if we were just talking or whatever, and you missed it. But he said that they had been friends beforehand, and they reconnected at like some like trip or something.
That's still wacky.
It's still wacky.
That's still some wacky shit.
But hey, I know people who get engaged real quick. It totally works out for them. Totally works out for them.
Yeah, it's like a healthy, regular thing. Healthy, well-adjusted people do. Like, it's fine. But it seems fucking... It was maybe a couple months, right? Yeah. They're engaged, right? So that was weird. She starts... It's her first year of law school. Law school is 3 years, right? Standard, like, if you're not going at night, like, your law school is 3 years full-time.
We did research.
Like, let's say I went to law school, right? So,
let's just
pretend that I went to law school. So... 3 years, right? So she starts as her first year.
Yeah.
The only other indication of time that we get in the first bit of her being there is, we're all applying for Callahan, which is one of their professors. We're all applying for Callahan's internship next year, right? So that indicates that that's a second year.
Callahan is Victor Garber.
Right. Yes. Callahan is Victor Garber. He's like one of the professors, but he's a partner at a law firm as well.
Right.
And so they all apply for it. She gets it, Warner gets it, and Selma Blair gets it.
And
the one other girl.
I can't think of her name. Agnes? It's something ridiculous like that.
What, the character name's Agnes? Yeah, the girl with the curly hair who's like who's a lesbian who like No, I know that's what she is. I'm just trying to think of I'm just indicating.
Enid. Her name is Enid. I wasn't far off with Agnes.
Right. So like the 4 of them get it, right? So then they get that internship, and then it kind of cuts ahead to them at that internship. So it's like, okay, this is second year.
Well, that's where it lost me, honestly. I had no idea they had already gotten to second year.
Right. It doesn't really indicate, right? And then by the end of the movie, she's graduating, so it's the end of the third year. So really, we see like 3.5 years. This movie takes place over about
3.5 years, which is insane to me.
Right. It doesn't feel that way. And I guess it's not necessarily important to the plot, but I was kind of sitting there like, wait, like they're engaged? Wait, now like they're working at a law firm? Wait, now she's trying a murder case? What is happening?
Well, that's when she like, spoilers, I mean, whatever, always spoilers. But when she takes over for Victor Garber at the end, and I'm just like, wait, can a first year law student take over? And
she was second year, Matt. She was second
apparently
year.
She was second year. Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah. No, that was definitely odd. I think it is a thing though that you can only practice law without a license if you're practicing, like if you're working under someone, like because you're working, like technically you're working under their license. I don't know if that's a real thing, to be honest.
I'm no lawyer. I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know.
Me either. Fuck you. So, yeah, but that was like that was kind of a weird thing. I feel like we skipped ahead a bunch.
I mean, if they've watched the movie, they know what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I random notes. So I did go to law school. There, that's a thing. So,
wow.
So I just wrote like LSAT, like the little bit they talk about the LSAT. Yeah, that was like accurate enough. Like her working on studying for the LSAT with logic games and all that bullshit. It was fucking terrible. Her in law school, it was also like accurate enough. Like from the stance of like
accurate.
Everyone's kind of a pompous fucking asshole, and like really like everyone else thinks they're really smart because they're there. Yeah, and granted, like it's Harvard Law.
Well, when I went to law school, I also found it to be that way.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we agree on the the realistic nature and relevance of this
law school and
of the depiction thereof in this film,
and nautical law and
bird law. Like Matt has a very successful bird law practice.
One of my favorite things is early when she gets to law school, she's in who I like to, and I don't remember the actress's name. That's rude of me, but what I like to call the poor woman's Dame Maggie Smith.
Oh, Professor McGonagall.
Yeah, poor woman's Professor McGonagall's
class.
Yeah,
she has one female professor, and it's her.
Oh, you know, I actually don't even know if it's her or it's Victor Garber. But at one point, Elle says something like, "Oh," she says something, and the teacher goes, "Now you're thinking like a lawyer."
Oh, that's actually Victor Garber.
Is it Victor Garber?
Yeah.
Now you're thinking like a lawyer. And the subtext to me was just like, "Now you're thinking like a blood-sucking monster person, you fuck." It was just really, really greasy.
Like, you couldn't help but think that?
Yeah.
Because you're an asshole?
Well, because lawyers are blood-sucking monster people.
That's true.
Shout out to all the lawyers out there. I also noted that the better she gets at the law, the more toned down her outfits are throughout the movie. Like, she starts out wearing these bright pink and like
just loud, kind of louder
loud outfits.
Yeah,
and they get more subdued, where it's like, oh, she's wearing a black suit with like maybe pink underneath it or something.
Right, which she stays true to herself, but also matches the venue,
the aesthetic.
You know, like she matches like her.
She really reads the room.
She really reads the various rooms.
Various rooms.
Yeah, no, that was a real thing that happened, and it's actually like. It's something that gradually happens as she seems to be getting more serious about law school as it goes on. It was fine. It was good. It was
it's something that's supposed to like trick the mind to being like, oh, she's taking this more seriously.
Well, also to like show the passage of time and change and all that shit, which like the movie doesn't ever like directly address, as we were just talking about.
Right.
Like it's never like year 2, you know. Which
you know what? In the long run, I actually think I appreciate. Like them not giving me like big like letters being like, we've moved on now.
The story's like about her like finding her confidence and like finding her drive and shit, I think. And it's not about like fucking year 2 constitutional law chapter 1. You know what I mean? It's not like it doesn't matter.
There was that. What else? Oh, again, when I talk to people about this movie, everyone just says the words bend and snap, and let me tell you.
Okay, so Jennifer Coolidge works in the nail salon that she goes to when she is having a freak out at school, right? And she's like, I got like she goes. Matt's been fucking murdering me with Jennifer Coolidge impressions all morning. It's the morning.
It's so early.
It's early afternoon. So she everyone's really mean to her at school and she's really shitty and she kind of like takes a drive. She's like stressed out. Then she sees like a nail salon. She's like, oh, thank God. So it's like Neptune's nail salon.
They kind of play. It's like a callback from earlier in the movie. She was like, what do we do when we get upset? And like,
they do that originally. Yeah. So she goes in, she sits right down at Jennifer Coolidge's table and they like immediately start becoming friends.
Bastards.
Hello. Jennifer Coolidge. Like, that's really
took the dog.
Oh my God, that's fucking too good. All right. Anyway, so she goes, they become really good friends. So Jennifer Coolidge has an ex-husband, and Reese Witherspoon like goes to his trailer that he lives in, a trailer like in like it looks like a garbage dump.
It looks like
he lives in a trailer in a garbage dump.
Or a recycling plant. We don't know.
And he's acting like he's too good for Jennifer Coolidge.
He's environmentally conscious. We don't know.
Too much. To get Jennifer Coolidge's dog back. And Reese Witherspoon breaks the law here. Elle breaks the law here by practicing law without legend. She's like, I'm Jennifer Coolidge's attorney, and you also, and sometimes you've committed
vis-a-vis
squid pro row. Yeah. So she
concordantly.
Whatever. So she gets the dog back, right?
Once my dog back.
Oh. So the Jennifer Coolidge is then kind of like free and clear of the ex-husband, and then she is like, there's a UPS guy that keeps coming to the nail salon that she's like,
hey, I've got a package.
Yeah, it's very overt with the package references.
What did he say? You said he looked like a mix between Bruce Campbell and young Bryan
Cranston, which he totally does. I thought it was Bruce
after you said it. I was like,
you can't see anything
man.
Else. Yeah. So then she's like, oh, I don't know how I'll ever get his attention. And then Reese Witherspoon, Elle, she's like, oh, I have a method. And she goes, oh, the bend and snap. It has a 98% success rate with getting a man's attention and an 83% return rate on a dinner invitation, which like I don't even know what that means. No, like a return rate on a dinner invitation. But
I'm mad.
it starts this thing, which is actually like my favorite part of this movie. It's the thing that I reference the most.
Is it really your favorite
movie.
part of this movie?
Yes.
Because I think this is the most monstrous, horrible part of this movie.
So you drop something on the ground, and then you bend over to pick it up, but you don't like bend your knees. You like bend like a 90-degree angle at the waist to pick it up.
Right, showing off
like your butt, showing off your bum. Right. And then you snap back, and then you do cat paws.
But what's with the cat paws?
Just under your chest.
Hey, cat paws! Don't forget to smile.
Yeah, it is weird. It is an unattractive move.
It's not an attractive move. First of all, and second of all, the weird like quasi dance montage they go into afterwards that lasts at least 3 to 4 minutes.
It's like 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes. But she gets everyone in the nail salon doing the bend and snap to the lead up to my absolute favorite part of the movie, where one of the male hairdressers comes out of the back as they're doing it, as like they're wrapping up, and he's like, "Oh, the bend and snap works every time," and it's the fucking funniest line in the movie.
The best part about that too is that after he says "works every time," it like within a millisecond cuts away from the entire scene and it just goes on.
Oh no, that kills it. But like, the recognition that's like she's introduced this thing called the bend and snap, and then some stranger who's not a part of it is like, "Oh, the bend and snap, sure." Yeah, he's fucking so good. Oh, the bend and snap.
It also just proves that, and I said it earlier in this movie, that like I didn't dislike this movie at all, but it's shot like a cartoon. Like everything is just like, I don't know, everything is just weirdly.
I thought it was shot in kind of like a light way. So I guess I see what you're saying in like a little bit. But I also think it was just kind of shot the way it was shot because it keeps it really light. There's no like dramatic hard cuts or anything. There's never any real drama in this movie, which is great.
Except
the murder trial.
Oh no, I didn't.
Like they flirt with it at the murder trial.
I didn't even mean that. I meant when like Victor Garber like forces himself or tries to force himself.
Yeah, he like gets fucking sexually aggressive.
A little weird.
Yeah, he gets fucking weird.
Not into it. Especially from Victor Garber. I just kind of feel like he's just like everyone's dad.
Really?
Yeah, Victor Garber gives off that very...
I think I remember him from this movie and think of him as a creep when I see him because of this role.
Well, he's Firestorm. He's half a Firestorm from Flash.
Right.
You know,
you proud of yourself?
From that Flash TV show that we
that CW show.
You watch it too. Don't even lie.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
So, I did have a note after that. I was like, don't quit. Sue him.
Yeah, right.
Because he like kind of like this is later on in the movie, and he kind of makes advances towards her, and it seems clear that like he at least at first gave it to her like she had good grades,
on merit. Yeah,
but he also like wanted to have the opportunity to hit on her like this, right? And it's fucked up and shitty, and he like. I don't know, she quits and then she's going to drop out of law school following it. I literally just wrote down like, sue him and call the police. Like, what the, like, you fucking get him. Like, what are you doing?
This also leads up to Selma Blair seeing her get it hit on by him and thinking that she's complicit in it. But it also, that's a weird thing in the movie where like Selma Blair is kind of like the antagonist in the beginning.
So Selma Blair plays Dane Brady's new fiance.
Right.
Which she's a Kennedy or some shit.
She's something. But she's the antagonist or at least antagonistic in the beginning of the movie. And then like they weirdly become friends real fucking quick.
Yeah.
It was just a weird turn.
I know you didn't like that.
I didn't love it.
I didn't really give a shit about it.
I mean, I liked it in the end because, like, hey, she wins people over and that's what she does. But, like, it was also just unrealistic because it was just, oh, no, they're friends.
I think it was kind of believable because it seems like Selma Blair is gradually realizing that Warner Dane Brady is a piece of shit. Like, so
but she doesn't leave him in the end. Oh, she does leave.
She does leave him by the end. Right. Yeah, she does. So I think I kind of bought it because she is realizing that he's a piece of shit and realizing that Elle is not the enemy. She's like a comrade, in that he was a piece of shit. Yeah. So I didn't have as much of a problem with that.
Okay, that's fine. But of course, misunderstanding, and then. We didn't even talk. You know who we didn't even talk about at all?
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Who was the basis of our bet? Because
he
ends up being the love interest in the long run for Elle.
Right. So he plays like I thought he was like an older law student, but it turns out
he's a teacher's assistant.
But he's a practicing attorney, which I don't think like a practicing attorney would go back and be a TA.
I don't know. Maybe you need some extra cash, man. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm no lawyer.
I think he works for Callahan. What's his name? Victor Garber?
Victor Garber.
He works for his firm, so maybe, I don't know. But he's like an attorney. He's a little bit older. He's like finished law school.
Well, so that was like kind of the basis of our bet, is that and in my head, Luke Wilson is older than Reese Witherspoon. I mean, just by looks alone, right? They look like
I would assume so.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we said, what is the age difference between Luke Wilson and what is her name? Reese Witherspoon. There it is. Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Real brain
so
fart.
you would guess 5, I'd guess 6.
Right.
Okay. What is the actual age difference?
So Reese Witherspoon was born in... Oh, I just hit the mic like an idiot. Reese Witherspoon was born in 1976.
Okay.
Luke Wilson was born in 1971. That's a 5-year difference.
Well, what are their actual birth dates?
The actual birth dates? Okay.
We're cutting it close here.
Luke Wilson is September 21st, 1971.
September, so 9/21/71?
Yes.
Okay.
3/22/76.
3/22/76. So
now
actually,
do the math.
So they're less than 5 years apart.
Okay, so I won just because you said 6 and I said 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I won the bet.
Fuck you.
It's okay. It's okay. Things happen. Things happen to good people. You are not a good person, but things still happen.
You mean bad things?
Yeah, bad things happen to bad people and good people. You're bad people. So I won the bet, so I'll decide what we're watching next week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had to pick anyone, it would. And this is probably the first time this has happened that we've had this question floated. But I think Elle was probably my favorite character.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that
is this the first time that the main character is your favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't count. Yeah, no, I think that's the first time. I was gonna say Spice World, but I think I actually said Alan Cumming was my favorite character in the movie.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Coolidge is my favorite character.
Why?
Paulette.
Why would you think that?
I think she's a perfect amount of comic relief. She loves her dog.
She loves that dog.
She's not the most main character, but like I think Jennifer Coolidge.
I find
Elle
her
is a close
abrasive.
second.
I find her so abrasive.
Oh, I think she's like cute and funny and shit. Like she's great. In this movie especially, like the character is like, I just want my dog back.
Give me my dog. Wow. Okay, that's fine.
Are you Jennifer Coolidge?
I might be Jennifer Coolidge. You haven't seen her recently since Two Broke Girls ended.
That's true. Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Did you... I've done this in a couple of the other movies.
Yeah.
Did you note any great burns?
Okay. So I didn't, but I know you did. So why don't you just lay it on us, Garrett?
Why are you paying attention for awesome burns?
Sweet, sweet, sick burns. What's the best burn of the movie?
Okay. So the best burn in this movie... just like... All right. So like, I'm just going to call back real quick. Like, remember Clueless? When Mai Tai is like, whatever, Cher, you're just a virgin who can't even drive. I was like, oh, savage burn. No! Oh my God, no. All right. So in this movie, there's a point at which Selma Blair is like pretending to be friendly and invites Elle to a party that they're having. Yeah. But she lies and tells her it's a costume party. So Elle shows up as a Playboy bunny in like a lingerie looking thing with bunny ears.
You know what though? Fucking owns it. She was just like, oh, this is what I am? All right, fine.
She gets there and she realizes it's not a costume party and she fucking stays. She's like, well, fuck you.
Instead of running out in tears, she's like, here we go.
Yeah, I look great, fuck off. Yeah. Like, no, I actually did really like that. Like,
I did too. That's the point of the movie.
She stayed and she's like, oh no, like I'm staying to highlight the fact that they're assholes.
Right.
So at that costume party or that non-costume party,
don't forget to bring your own Merlot.
Oh God, she goes up to Selma Blair and she's like, oh, great costume party, thanks so much for having me, I'm having a great time, like super sarcastic. And wait,
that was sarcasm.
And then she's like, I love your costume, but usually when I dress up as a frigid bitch, I try not to look so constipated. Is that what it is?
And it was pretty good.
I was like, wow. Like
we were both like, ah,
because they did her dirty.
They did her dirty.
And then
she did her dirty back.
And then she did her dirty right back. You know what I mean?
You got to get yours.
You got to get yours.
If I'm going to get mine, you got to get yours. What are we talking about?
Are you okay?
I may have had a stroke.
So that was Best Burn. Also, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Was there, in your mind, what was the turning point of this movie?
I mean, it's pretty clearly at that party where she like goes to talk to Dane
Brady.
Mm-hmm. She goes to talk to Dane Brady, and like, first of all, weirdly touchy for her, like being engaged.
He puts his hands on her hips
while she's
hips,
wearing
and
then like strokes her arm.
His fiance's at that party,
and she says like, "Are you having a good time?" He's like, "I am now." I'm like, "What is happening?"
So you look like a walking felony. I'm like, whoa.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he says that.
Oh, I thought you just made that up.
No,
I was like,
he says it.
No,
which might be law school humor, but also wildly inappropriate.
But that is the turning point of the movie, where she's just like, "Oh, you know, I'm going to try and get Victor Garber's internship," and he's like, "You're clearly not smart enough for that."
He says you're not smart enough for that,
and
which
at that point,
fucking nuts.
And at that point, it stops becoming about her getting him back, and it becomes about her proving him wrong.
Yeah, I read that. Like, I 100% agree. That is absolutely the turning point of the movie, and it's 100% when she stops like trying to prove herself to him to be with him,
she
and trying to
polite.
trying to prove herself to herself and be better than him.
She stops being polite and starts getting real.
Good night, everybody. Fuck you, Matt.
We know that you like this. We know that. I mean, you made it pretty clear that you like this movie.
Yeah. What did the critics think?
So the critic score for this movie. Sorry, I have to flip back one page. Critic score for this movie is. This is actually. I'm going to preface this. I'm actually blown away by this because I thought people loved this a lot more than they did. Critic score was 68%. Audience score was 72%. I thought way higher. The way people talk about this movie, I would have thought like at least in the 80s.
So critic score is probably what I would expect.
Yeah, fair.
Like probably a C, right? Like a C.
It's actually a D. C's generally start around 70.
Yeah, true. Okay, but like it's ballpark, right? 68, you said, right?
68%, yes.
So I think that's kind of what I would expect from critic, but I agree. I feel like most people
talk
to about this movie really like very fondly of this movie. Yeah. Like, you know, like it's quotable. It's like got a good story. It's like got a good message. It's fucking, I don't know. Like
it's empowering.
I'm actually surprised. I am surprised by the audience score.
To be honest, I was surprised.
Yeah. Shit, that sucks.
Where would you rank it in the movies that we've watched?
Okay. I would rank Legally Blonde above... Shit. I think I would rank it above Clueless, to be honest. So that would... It would now be number 4 on my list.
No. Go down the list.
So While You Were Sleeping.
Yeah.
Number 1. Yeah. Still number 1. Will probably always be my number 1. Devil Wears Prada number 2. Pretty Woman number 3. Now, I think this is 4.
Wow. We have differing opinions on this movie.
Clueless is 5 then.
Yeah.
Other Woman 6. 13 going on 37. Enchanted 8. She's the Man 9. Spice World 10. Crossroads 11. What Women Want Dead. Fucking last at 12.
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 12. And then Made Manhattan. I forget about Made Manhattan because it was so nothing. Made Manhattan is 13. But yeah, I would say this is 4. It's like kind of tied with Clueless. Like I think they're kind of interchangeable at 4 and 5 between the two of them. But definitely top half of my list, but not my favorite.
Not your favorite.
I feel like you are going to shit on this.
I'm not going to shit on it. I just don't think it didn't do as much for me as it did for you. So I'm going to put it...
What did it do for me, Matt?
It really made you feel like a really strong, empowered woman.
Who don't need no man.
Who don't need no man. Who don't need no man.
Yeah.
Except for me. I'm going to put this below what we like to call, and by we I mean just me and Garrett off air, the 13 line. It goes below 13 going on 30, which is very middling for us.
Yeah, the 13 going on 30 meridian.
Yeah. So for me, it goes Devil Wears Prada 1, Pretty Woman 2, Other Woman 3, While You Were Sleeping 4, Spice World 5, Clueless 6, 13 going on 37, and this is going to go at 8. I think I'm going to say Legally Blonde 8. Enchanted 9, She's the Man 10, Crossroads 11, What Women Want 12, and Made in Manhattan at 13 because fuck that movie.
So you liked it more than Enchanted?
That's good. Enchanted was
a little flat.
It was a little flat.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't think that's unfair. I think I have a little bit more of a connection to this movie just from seeing it a bunch and whatever else. And...
At what point are we going to start shortening our list? Because we can't, like, episode 30 start rattling off 30 movies each.
Yeah, we could drop it to a top 10 at some point.
I think that's
fair. This is only episode 13, Matt. So...
Hey, big 13, lucky 13.
I have another question for you. Do you think anything will ever supplant Devil Wears Prada as number 1 for you?
I think there's a good chance. I think there might be a movie out there I haven't seen that'll shock my senses.
Is there anything you have seen that we have not watched yet that you think either trumps or might trump?
There's always Mean Girls.
Fuck. Yeah.
Love Mean Girls.
Okay. Do you think this movie died?
No, I was saying earlier that I think that like you could turn on TBS on any given Saturday or Sunday and probably find it at some point. Or USA or TNT.
Yeah, I think this movie's on a lot.
Yeah.
And the sequel, which we will be watching.
Probably not directly after this.
Yeah, not next episode, but we will have to watch the sequel now.
Because we're getting into October, which is going to be...
Halloween month!
Halloween at least week once.
Something about Halloween.
Something
to do with Halloween time.
Halloween time.
So, would you recommend this movie to someone who hasn't seen it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's fine enough.
It's cute. It's fun. Give it a watch.
Yeah, I'd give it a watch. But I wouldn't. It's kind of one of those movies that'd be like, yeah. I mean, if you have like a bunch of ironing to do, or like you got like other busy work to do at home, yeah, throw it on in the background. Who cares?
It is an excellent background movie. Yeah.
Excellent.
Sure.
Excellent.
Well, good night, everybody. All right. Do you have any other massive notes for this movie? I definitely took like a lot of notes, but I think we killed it.
No, I think we nailed it. Nailed down every point that I wanted to mention.
All right. Do you think you'll be working the bend and snap into your repertoire?
I will not. I really dislike that part of the movie.
Works every time. God, it's so fucking good. Anyway,
where can people find us, Garrett?
At DGOCF on Twitter, Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks on Instagram, some sort of Facebook, some email, drunkguysonchickflicks@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
And also Matt's cell phone number is
give it out. I dare you. I fucking dare you.
That'd be so good.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but drop us a line. Recommend to a friend. We would appreciate that. Like us on iTunes. Give us a comment or a rating.
Rate and review. Let us know if you hate it. Or let us know something you want us to watch. Or let us know if you hate us. Or it. Or us. Or it.
Or each other.
What? Like...
They hate each other.
Like, but also comment on whether or not they think we hate each other?
Yeah, that too. We do. Spoiler.
Well, that's it for this episode on Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.